Hi, welcome everyone. This is the Agnihotra Lady for this Saturday's the Agnihotra Ladies, the Cosmic Clinic. And I'm so happy that you're joining me this Saturday evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm so happy to have you join me so we can talk about all the things to help you live your life in love, peace, and joy. And so we're going to have a special guest this evening. So I'm going to give them a little while to log on. And so while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and just share to several Facebook pages and until they come on. But as you know, every week I do a Facebook Live talking about various Ayurvedic techniques, talking about Agnihotra as a way to purify yourself and purify the planet. And we need plenty of that, don't we? Because it's so many things going on. So bear with me a second. I'm going to go ahead and just share to several Facebook pages, and I'll give that person enough time, my special guest, Justin Davis, to log on Zoom, and then we can start the this week's show. So I hope everybody's been having a really good week and been able to have time to reflect and just have a good stress-free week. And, you know, so many things in the news and stuff like that. I don't want people to be focused in on that. Okay, so I'm gonna be quiet for a second while so I can concentrate on what I'm doing here. And I'm going to give Justin Davis, our special guest, enough time to log on to Zoom. And if not, we'll just go ahead and get started here in a few minutes. So I'm just going to do this real quick. And then they'll give you enough time to anyone else that's just now joining or needing to find the right time, your time zone. It's every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, a couple more pages and then we'll go ahead and get started because that's a lot that I want to cover. So I want to get it started. Okay. Okay. A couple more here. And let's see. And let me actually go and see if he's trying to come in here before I okay. Okay. Okay, a couple more seconds here, and I'm ready to go ahead and get started. I was waiting for Justin to come on before I started, but we have to keep it moving. Okay. Okay, so now, everybody, okay, welcome again. This is the Agnihotra Ladies, the Cosmic Clinic. Every week, I give you Ayurvedic tips as well as talk about the purification process of Agnihotra for purifying yourself and purifying the planet. And so this week's special guest is Justin Davis, which is Sri Charles. He's Sri Charles' son, youngest son. And I guess he'll be coming on later on, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So before every show, we start off doing a Varuti mantra, which is a good way to set the tone for a meeting. And it's like a blessing before I tell you this wonderful information that will help enrich your life. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the Viruti mantra right here that I'm doing in the copper pyramid. That I also do Agnihotra in this same pyramid too. And then Justin is joining us now. So actually, let's see if he is connecting. I see that I just admitted him, but I don't see his video yet. Okay, let's see. Okay, he's connected to audio. Okay, so everybody, let me go ahead and get started with the Viruti mantra here. Okay. Bu swaha, Agnihotra namama gwa swaha, Vayave namama swaha, Surya namama burba gwa swaha, Prajapatiye namama. So welcome. So Justin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So we're joined by Justin Davis, the youngest son of Sri Charles, the founder of Shanti Institute, located in Tuskegee, Alabama. And Justin Davis he manages Shanti Institute, the property. He tends to the cows, and he just runs everything very well. And he's been raised up practicing Agnihotra. And so he has a lot of wisdom to share with everyone this week. And I'm so happy that you are able to join us this week. As most of you all know, Shanti Atlanta is the Atlanta campus of Shanti Institute, located in Tuskegee. Shanti Atlanta is located in Conyers, Georgia. So for anyone that would like to come to visit Shanti Atlanta, I am taking limited appointments, social distancing, not large groups or anything like that. So I wanted to just jump in to today's topic, which we're going to talk about the purification of the planet and of the people. And there's so many different pollutants and contaminants that are just everywhere on the planet. And it's very concerning. We have, like I've said before, we have polluted air, polluted water, the food is polluted. There have been several food recalls. I don't know if you all been keeping up with the food recalls, but I've been posting on my Facebook page. And then even recently I posted, I think yesterday, about the 750 million genetically engineered mosquitoes that they're going to release in Florida. And so someone commented, it's not funny, but they commented on the post when I posted it saying, wow, what could possibly go wrong? And it's so many things that go wrong with the things that we do, trying to correct things and bring about a solution. And in trying to do these things to correct, we just make the problems worse. I've talked about the scientific principle, man, microbes, flora, fauna, in which if you tamper with one of those things, then you mess with the entire scientific system, the ecosystem, and you really can't do that. So I think someone mentioned that they've done this in Singapore before, and they say everything's okay. Yeah, it may seem that way, but you're tampering with Mother Nature. So most definitely, those of you all that are in Florida have voiced concerns. There was a lot of people in Florida was saying they didn't want that there, and it got approved anyway. So Agnihotra, which is what I teach on a regular basis here at Shanti Atlanta, is a way to bring about a purification for your home, your workplace. It goes 8 miles up, and it's a 2-mile radius. So when you can't control what your government, your local government, and different things are doing in your communities, this is something that has been scientifically proven to bring about a cleansing. It eradicates pathogenic bacteria. It actually lessens radiation, the effects of radiation. It cleanses your water. You can use the ash for Agnihotra. You put some in a glass jar with water and sit it for 3 days, and cleanses the water. So now Agnihotra, which is done in a copper pyramid, which this is not Agnihotra, this is just a regular Homa fire, but Agnihotra is the basic home of fire, and it's done at sunrise and at sunset. And what happens in the morning time, if I explain on all, each show I give it a short explanation, is that there are ethers and electricities that are there in the morning time. And so that's that flood of that energy. And so in the morning time, we say our morning mantra, Sanskrit mantras. And then there's energy that comes from the sun that interacts with the pyramid. Now we use dried cow dung. We use brown rice. See that? And then we use ghee, which is nothing but unsalted. It's unsalted butter that we boil down. And so that is the basic process of Agnihotra. And then when those energies, ethers, and electricities, when that recedes at sunset, we have a sunset Sanskrit mantra that we say. And once again, there's the purification process that happens. So Justin, I wanted to ask you before we get into the first topic, what happens, or what have you seen happen just growing up with Agnihotra? What are some of the things specifically that you have seen happen just around you with the effects of Agnihotra there at Shanti Institute?
For me specifically?
Oh yeah, so just what you've observed. I'd like people to hear what you've observed from how Agnihotra has benefited you in your living environment.
Well, the basic example I can relate to is just health-wise. Like generally, I don't really get sick a lot with the fire because it boosts your immune system. So it's always been that way. And when I was in school, I played sports. I could run faster than everybody else. I could run longer than everybody else. I had more stamina than everybody else. So those are just like some surface level things that I could say.
Oh, wow. And so a lot of what we've been talking about has been dealing with the immune system. So Justin mentioned that it boosts your immune system. And so the last several weeks, myself and a few times I've had Sri Charles on, and we've been talking about natural ways in which to boost your immune system. Everyone is talking about how to be healthy, how to boost your immune system. And so Agnihotra is a way that you naturally boost your immune system. So the Cosmic Clinic, we've been talking about that there are times in which, whether you're sitting in front of a fire or not, that you just sit still, and there's that the cosmos will automatically boost your immune system. So Sri Charles and I were talking about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, sunrise, 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., and sunset. So these are the times in which you can boost your immune system, and it's a very powerful effect. And if you're not lighting a fire, a home of fire at those times, like the rest of us that live at Shanti Institute and Shanti Atlanta, we light a fire. Those are the other home of fires that we burn. But there's something that resets in your body at those times. This is a time for you to sit still, and you can just relax your body and your mind and let nature take its course. And so today we're talking about how to bring about the balance in nature. Justin was talking about how he was able to run faster than everybody when he played sports growing up and whatnot. And so as our bodies age, we need to constantly keep in mind, the immune system. And now with, like I said, all these pollutants and things in the air, they do have an effect on all these viruses and things that people are talking about, various ailments. All these things are exacerbated by pollution. And so by doing Agnihotra, you're able to bring about balance where the imbalances that we put into the environment. Okay, so I want to talk about just the power of Agnihotra And this is something that you can look up on it was actually an international story that involved the Union Carbide factory in India. And it's considered one of the most, if not the most, um, devastating industrial chemical accident in the entire world, because 500,000 people were injured and more than 20,000 people were killed. And they still are doing stories on what happened at Union Carbide. This happened in 1984 because so many people were injured that each year they had other things happening to their bodies, and so then another group of people died, in subsequent years. So I don't have an exact accurate count of how many people were killed. I know it's much more than 20,000, but 500,000 people were injured. And so there was a pesticide that was made in this factory, and it's called MIC, methylene sulfosiant. I know I'm mispronouncing that, but it's called MIC. It's for short. That is what leaked. And so out of these 500,000 people that were injured, there was a family that lived probably less than a mile from the factory. And it was two families. And they were not affected the same as everyone else. They did regularly perform Agnihotra, and as soon as they went outside and saw everybody running around and they were coughing and had some symptoms themselves, they immediately went in and did a homifier. And then within 20 or 30 minutes, their symptoms began to subside. I think they had some burning of eyes and a little trouble breathing. But out of all these people, those two families were not affected. So I want you to understand that Agnihotra is something that's very powerful. You can go look up the Union Carbide chemical spill that happened in 1984, so you can see for yourself. And then you can also look up Agnihotra. The Agnihotra families that practiced that, they were not as affected because that also made news as well too. And so, like I told you before, the effects of Agnihotra goes up 8 miles, and it's a 2-mile radius. So can you imagine if you were this family, one of the families living up the street from where a chemical spill happened, and knowing that you're protected? And so in our headlines here in the United States, we're having a problem with ethylene oxide. Actually, the next town over for me in Covington, people have been affected and have gotten sick from ethylene oxide. There's a plant there that has had a problem. I've been up there. I've even done a fire. Me and Justin, actually, Street Charles and some other people, we've done a fire up there right next to the plant to try to bring about a healing of the environment. And then there's Sterigenics in Cobb County that's been having the same problem. And there are other places in the United States where there are these chemical leaks. So for those that have been fighting and being activists in your community, and you're not getting the change that you want from your local government, you can take this into your own hands, your own health of your loved ones in your community, and you can do Agnihotra. So look up, everyone, Union Carbide Factory, 1984, and you'll see. I mean, it made major news. You probably see a old clip of Tom Brokaw from, I forget which news station he was at the time. It made international news. And I just wanted to tell you that Agnihotra is the answer how to eradicate pollution. It eradicates pathogenic bacteria, eradicates viruses, is counter effects radiation. This is a very powerful Ayurvedic practice, and the more you do it, the more you're protected, especially if you're going to do fires during the other cosmic clinic times, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m. And so, and like I said, it goes 8 miles up in a 2-mile radius. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Justin, about the powerful effects of Agnihotra?
You pretty much covered it. Secondly, thanks for inviting me to the show. I appreciate it. Yeah, you've pretty much. I don't really need to say too much else. You've gone over it in quite detail so far. So
Okay. Well, yeah, I want you to jump in where I'm missing out because there's a lot of things that are going on. So now getting back to the mosquitoes that have been released in Florida. So, I mean, they may say, I think they're saying that they're releasing these mosquitoes because, you know, the current mosquitoes carry Zika and Niles uh, uh, and West Nile disease, and they're trying to, I guess, get the mosquitoes to mate with the genetically engineered mosquitoes, so that way they can try to curve off the offspring of this, you know, genetically altered parent with the original mosquito to try to counter effect the problem. I mean, you're just going to create another problem because that genetically altered mosquito does not come from nature. So listen to me when I say to you that they're going to try to do this in other places, and this is not within the natural order of what should be happening in our ecosystem. Remember, we are in a closed system. You know, this is a closed system. And like I said before, in the scientific principle of man, microbes, flora, fauna, when you tamper with one, then everything is tampered with. You mess up something with the air, you know, everybody breathes that. That affects the soil. The water's polluted. That affects the soil. It affects the wildlife that live inside the water, the marine life. So you can't do that. So I urgently really advise people to please tell your local politicians to not pollute the planet. But if they're not going to listen, then do agriculture so you can have some protections. So I talked about the last couple of times about technology and science. And so most of us think that technology and science are the same. And very I'm very sad or glad really to really inform people that they're not the same. Technology that breaks things down, destroys, that's not truly science. Truly, science is the study of what is already there. It's the study of you understanding how to use what is here, what the creator has put forth, and you using it to live in a productive way, using it to make your life better. And so technology that is there that tampers with the natural order of things, the circadian rhythm, the ecosystem, that really is not science. Even though scientists and experts may call it science, it's not the true science of living. It's not the true science that comes from the creator. It is not how we're meant to live. And for us to live in peace and harmony and love, we have to be in balance from everything from the mineral all the way up to the ethers and space. Anytime that we're not doing that, we tamper with the animals, the water, the land, the food, the animals, and of course ourselves, because each of those things are inside of us. Minerals are inside of us. You know, what the tree's made of, that's inside of us too. The water inside of us, our bodies are mainly water. Okay, the soil is inside of us. Everything's inside of us. So if you tamper with that, you're really tampering with what God has created. And if we are made in his image, that means that we each are God's daughters, God's sons, okay? That we are to protect what God put here for us to live on and to be sustained from. And so we have to get back to the science, the true science that has existed from the very beginning of time. The true science of us taking care of the land, of the flowers, of the animals, having compassion for every single thing that has ever lived and that will be born on this planet. Because every mineral, every rock, every brook, valley, mountain, all of that has come about through a process. And I was discussing with Sri Charles last night and this morning, we were talking about just the beauty of everything the creator has put upon the earth. I mean, if you think about minerals, minerals which a lot of people like crystals and all of that. And so there's a lot of minerals that are contained in crystals. I mean, you got salt that's crystals and sugar that are crystals, but I mean, there's a process. Minerals have to go through a lot of pressure. You know, there's you know, they're buried deep within if they're not made in the lab, you know, if you're making a crystal. But there's a process there that crystals go through so they can be transformed into what you want to wear as a necklace and all of that. And as people, we too go through a transformation, because I mentioned before about that we are a piece of minerals and the trees and the water and all these things. And so all these things are contained with us because at some point we were once the mineral. We were once the tree. All these things are inside of us in our DNA. And if we sit quiet during the cosmic clinic times, we will understand that yes, we were once the bird. Yes, we've been through all of these transformations until we've gotten to this final manifestation of what is called being a human being. And a human being created in the image of God is supposed to protect and serve and to be connected to everything on the planet. And I don't think people understand how connected we are to everything. If you understood that you were the mineral, that you were once a tree, would you destroy it or would you protect it? And so when we sit quiet during the cosmic clinic times, that's when we begin to remember. That's when we go deep into ourselves, into this higher understanding, this intuitiveness of who we really are. And so being quiet, sitting, or just lighting a fire during the cosmic clinic times, we begin to remember who we really are, how great we really are. And once we know how connected we are, then how grand we will walk upon the land with our heads held high, and then how sacred we would treat everything, how we would treat each other. There will be no fighting and cursing and screaming, because we will honor that which we are, because we are all connected. And so it's just really important. I really wanted to stress the importance of technology versus science, because a lot of that has destroyed who we really are and how we live, and it's gone against the natural order of things, which is why we are having this chaos in society, which includes all these different viruses and things that are happening, and even it affects people's behavior, being violent and not being part of connected to each other. All that has to do is because we're not living within the natural order of things in which the Creator has provided. And so now I want to move on to, and real quick before I do that, let me see if anybody's on here on Facebook that has any questions. And feel free, I don't even think I gave the Zoom. I didn't post the Zoom. No, I didn't. Let me post the Zoom link, everybody. I thought I did it when I was sharing everything. So if you have questions, I'm about to post the Zoom link. I apologize. I'm just going to post it right here. And I apologize for not posting it earlier. But there you go. Here's the Zoom link. So if you're just now joining me, this is the Agnihotra Lady. This is the Cosmic Clinic, and we have special guest Justin Davis, who is the youngest son of Sri Charles Davis, the founder of Shanti Institute, located in Tuskegee, Alabama. And I'm the caretaker of Shanti Atlanta here in Conyers. And welcome any questions. So, Justin, my question is, what are some of the ways that you think Agnihotra can be used and just regular everyday living, just in family life. I mean, because everyone can't live there at Shanti Villa Institute, but what can the average family, how can they use Agnihotra to better their lives? I think that's something that applies to everyone. What advice do you have?
For starters, it can be used any way, any way possible, because agriculture is versatile. It does everything, and there's no drawbacks to it. So, I guess that's the answer to that. How people incorporate it in their lives, like it depends on the person to person. We can explain to you here at Shantiville the techniques that you can use to incorporate into your lives, and somewhat depending on how your life is and what the things you have to do. But agriculture is versatile. It's the super science. So I don't know any other way else to say it's the super science. It's versatile. It can fit into anybody's life and it can give you instant relief dealing with just basic principles of science and the knowledge that's been on this planet for eons. It's just it's just in the West is not really popularized. So people haven't really heard too much about it besides seeing the occasional face from Shanti Village about telling them to burn cow poop. But that's usually it. But it's been around for thousands of years and in various different forms. But it was resuscitated by Parameswari Sri Gajana Maharaj and turned into what he called in Master Sri Vasant called the TV package. So everybody can do it. And so everybody can do it. It's way more accessible now. It's a lot easier. So they presented this gift to the world in a time of great peril, which is going on right now. So people need to be more aware of the fact that there are answers out, and we're not hiding. We've been telling everybody like this is it. Like it is what it is. Unfortunately, like this is it. This is the answer. But people want some mystic mumbo jumbo. We just explain to you like the science of how the pyramid works. Like this happens when the pyramid gets X amount of degrees. This also a chain reaction takes place when you drop the rice in here. Another chain reaction takes place when you say certain vibrations that come out of your mouth and it hits the pyramid, and then another chain reaction takes place. All this stuff can be measured by scientific equipment, and it's already been proven over 20, 30 years ago. So like the West is late to the game. Uh, So that's pretty much what I say about that. Now, but that was a tangent. How to incorporate in everyday life, just doing morning agriculture or evening agriculture. If you find it within your schedules to just hit one of them. Then you do the fire. Then you start from there. That's something to build on. And then when you have experience, whatever it may be, that solidifies what you feel that you think you've gotten from agriculture. Then you build on from there.
Mm. Yeah, and so everybody, that is in your family. So you do this as an entire family. And so let's say, if somebody has to go to work, one person can do it in the morning time, and then a different person, a family member, can do it in the evening time. And then if you want to do the other cosmic clinic home of fires, as we call it, the cosmic clinic at 12 noon or 3 p.m. or something earlier, then you can take turns in doing the fire. I just came back from Shanti Villa Institute yesterday. So, we take turns doing the fire. Justin's there, Sri Charles and other family members. We do fire throughout the day. So it is something that an entire family can do. And this affects your community. So for people that maybe you have a small family and you like to get your neighbors involved, this is the same thing. Maybe you all can pass the pyramid back and forth between your two homes or even several homes and do the fire as well based on your schedule. This is something that can be done because like Justin said, there's a lot of things that are happening now. And this is the solution that's been talked about a long time ago, okay? This is a solution to the problems that we're having now. and the pollution is getting worse. And, you know, our food systems are being constantly tampered with and tainted. And we have the solution to this, so you don't have to be living in fear. There's no reason why we have to have food that is not healthy for our children to eat. For, you know, we should not have to be worrying about how we're going to get to clean water. So for those that are having water problems in Flint, Michigan and other places, and I think Erin Brockovich, she posted about some raw sewage leakage in, oh my God, was this in Texas? I forget which part of Texas she was talking about. And it's leaked twice or something. I mean, and they're saying that the local leaders are slow to try to bring about a change. But I mean, you don't even have to drink the tap water. You can take the tap water, put some Agnihotra ash inside, and then it cleanses the water. And ash is the byproduct of when you burn the dried cow dung, the brown rice, which is this right here, and the ghee, which is, let me see if y'all can see that. It's just unsalted butter that we melt for about 20 minutes, and then we skim off the fat. So it's it's an easy process that anyone can do. And so I want to talk about, we've been talking about purifying of the environment, and we've talked about these leaks, chemical leaks, and Agnihotra being powerful in this process of purifying and helping with these problems. But now I want to talk about humans, okay? Because all these things that we're talking about, the common denominator that has to be worked on the highest level would be the humans, okay? We humans are the ones that will direct and lead the way for whatever evolution that the earth is going through, the evolution that we're going to be as human beings, to be on this high level of consciousness, this high level of awareness. And it's we, the humans, that have to work on ourselves. So when we talk about building something, people like to build these big buildings. We're going to build these bigger and better buildings, a bigger and better car, a bigger and better house. You know, you want to have all these big things. You can have a big building. It still could be cold and empty on the inside. Is it a big building? Yes. But does it have any purpose other than being a big building? So I say to you that we have to focus on building up people. Okay, we are these divine buildings, our temples. Okay, this is who we are. And so who are we? And we have not taught ourselves and trained our minds to be full of love, to be compassionate, to be forgiving, to be servants to each other, to have empathy. Who are we? We have to build each other up to be these divine, sacred beings that connect with everyone, because we've done the inner work. We've connected to the cosmos. We have understanding with who we really are, because, like I said before, we are made in God's image. Are we not? Are we not daughters of God and sons of God? And if we are daughters of God and sons of God, what does that make you? Okay? So when we build ourselves up, then there's no need for us to build a big giant building. We don't need more buildings and more cars and more big houses. We need more people that are walking with this sacred self, the sense of being, the sense of belonging, connecting to other people. We need more of that. And so the world is built on people, okay? Before anything else that we create, we build the people. And if the people are low energy, low consciousness, then the society will be low. But if we can build each other to be these supercharged, beautiful beings with sun in their hearts, with moon in their dreams, then we truly are what God wanted us to be. And so it's up to each one of us to work on ourselves, do the deep work, and Agnihotra is the tool in which to bring about these changes in our mind and our actions, having these beautiful thoughts, helping people without having an attachment to getting something in return. You know, we always have to have something in this from someone in this society. What can you give me? But if you come with both hands open, what can I give you? What can I give you as my brother and sister? What can I give you of myself without expecting anything in return? When you do that, it's something magnificent that happens to the cells in your body, that love vibration that is just upped within your body and exudes into the universe. You basically have programmed your DNA with the love. And that's actually another immune booster too. And so we need more of that. We need more people to forgive. Yes, there's wisdom to turn the other cheek. We can't be fighting and fussing with everyone all of the time. We have to forgive and really forgive and open our hearts to love. Because if we didn't forgive, I mean, heck, nobody would have any friends or parents, would we be, if we didn't forgive? So we have to do these things. So this is what I mean when I say we have to build up people and not build bigger buildings, build bigger people with bigger hearts, okay? Because that love vibration, and I've mentioned this before, it is something that exudes all over the earth. And the plants and the very energy of the planet depends on that high vibrational love frequency. Because everything on this planet, every plant, flower, chrysanthemum, lily, okay, the stuff that you're growing in your garden, the tomatoes, they all function on vibration. The whole earth is based upon vibration. And so what do you think happens if you're vibrating so high with love? All of the animals and the plants, they're rejoicing because you're vibrating with something that they need to live. And that means other people are vibrating to that same high level feeling as well too. And that's truly how you can change yourself, your family, your neighborhood, and the community. So I want to pause here before I go back to Justin, and we're going to wind everything down. Let me see if anybody else has come on. If anyone has any questions, feel free to post a question, or you can look where I have the Zoom information. So let's see if anybody wants to come on. And I'm always here if you have any questions. You can. Someone was talking about that. You know, they were asking me, did I do personal Zoom calls or Skype calls? I'm available if you don't want to come in one-on-one here. But yeah, email me. You can call me at 404-487-8156. And then my website is healthpluslifestyle.com. And so before I forget, because I always, a couple of times I forgot, and I wanted to show you a couple of items that we have for sale before I go back to Justin. So the last couple episodes, Sri Charles and I, we did a thing on mudras. So we actually have a mudra book, because I can't go through all the mudras here. We showed the power mudra, the prana mudra. And so this is a book by Sri Charles, and we have available on the website, shantivillainstitute.com. And so mudras are a way to help keep yourself healthy. So this is one of our best-selling books, The Secret Science of Mudras. Okay, excellent book. So we have mudras in here for if you have heart issues, diabetes, all these things. So that's the first item I wanted to show you. And so if you want to get started with Agnihotra, We have an Agnihotra kit, packaging designed by, once again, our founder, Sri Charles. And here's the backup, and I'm going to open it up so you can see what an Agnihotra kit looks like. And each of the kits, we give you a little bit of cow dung. It comes with a booklet so that you can immediately start teaching your entire family. All the information is inside here about Agnihotra. And everything's copper, copper cup, copper tray. This is the stand for the actual pyramid. Wait a minute. Copper spoon. And then here is the copper pyramid. So Justin mentioned that the Paramasagaru Sri Gajanan Maharaj, who's the Kalki avatar, he resuscitated the Agnihotra process, which is an Ayurvedic process from the Vedas, which is a gift from all mankind. So he came up with the measurements for the pyramid, and so that's how Agnihotra came about. It's a very ancient process that's available to all of mankind. Before, you could only go to special priests that would do these big fires, but now everybody can do it in their homes. And then we also have a couple of these bottles that come in with the kit too. So this is the Agnihotra kit, and we also give you a few pieces of cow dung, so you can get started right away. So, and then the last item I want to show you. So I don't think I mentioned that Agnihotra, the ash can be used for farming. Let me show you the ash. That's the one thing I didn't bring out here. So for those that farm, and we have, I have a garden here, and we have a bigger garden there at Shanti Villa in Tuskegee. But this is the ash that we use for farming. So for those of you who are serious about your farming, or even if you just want to, boost up your flower beds and stuff like that, we also have Shanti's Golden Nectar Plant Food. And this is a formulation put together by Sri Charles. And this is an Ayurvedic blend of plant food. And the ingredients are cow dung, water, worm castings, and of course, we have some ash in there, but it's Ayurvedic, okay? So it cuts your harvest time, less weeding, and it boosts nutrients to the soil and increases the yield. And so this is what we use at Shanti Atlanta as well as Shanti Villa Institute. So once again, you can order any of these products, Shanti's Golden Nectar Plant Food, The Secret Science of the Mudra, or the Agnihotra Kit, all at shantivillainstitute.com. And Justin, like I said, he runs the property there, so he would be in charge of shipping your items to you. And so we appreciate your support, so we can continue giving information on how to use Agnihotra to live peacefully and happily in life, and to purify the environment as well as yourself. Okay, so Justin, do you have any comments here as we wrap everything up? What other information would you like to give on Agnihotra that our viewers would love to hear?
First off, again, thank you for having me. It's been a blast. I don't really have like too much to say since you pretty much went into depth over it. The best thing I can say is what my teacher says and his teacher says in his teacher form, which is just 3 simple words: do the fire.
That's right, do the fire. And that is true. I mean, if you're having an argument or a bad day, the fire will help just have everything be much more smoothly. The fire really is the answer to being more full of peace and love, and it's true. So I really appreciate everyone for joining. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. And like I said, I'm here every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, here on Facebook Live and Zoom. And you're more than welcome to post questions, even after the show is off air. If you cannot join, you can join via video, or you don't have to show your face, and you can just listen in and do this through audio. But I welcome your questions, and as always, I wish everyone to not be scared of these headlines and to not let fear overtake your lives, because Agnihotra is the solution to all the things that are going on. And if you're in another country, please, feel free to share. I think we had somebody from Nigeria last week, and you were asking about, it was late there, like 12 midnight. You wanted to have the replay. I think I'm going to post sooner than later the YouTube. We do post these up to YouTube so you all can share and look at it at your leisure. Anyway, thanks again for attending the Agnihotra Ladies, the Cosmic Clinic. Thanks again to special guest Justin Davis of Shanti Institute.
Thanks
And
for
we look
having me.
forward to seeing you all the next time.